This recording is protected by copyright. No part may be reproduced without the prior permission of the University of South Australia.
Topic 1. Introduction to Risk Management. This week introduces the course and will commence with some definitions and discussion around what risks are. By the completion of this week's lecture, you should be able to define project risk, clarify what risk management is, explain that risk is different at each phase of the project management life cycle, and we'll introduce the Australian standard ISO 31000-2009 and the PMBOK methodology. Definitions vary, but we will tend to use the more formal definitions of risk provided by the ISO 31000-2009 and the PMI. See the slides and notes provided for this week. Remember, however, risks can be both positive and negative. They also consist of three elements: the perception that something could happen, the likelihood or probability of something happening, and the consequence or impact if it happens. This course will follow the structured process of risk management provided by the PMI PMBOK guide, with particular reference to Chapter 11, and the Australian standard, the ISO 31000-2009. You are expected to have access to both of these. The guide you should have if you've already completed the Principles of Project Management, and this is a book that most project managers should have. A new 5th edition has been released at the beginning of February this year, and we will reference both the 4th and the 5th edition in this course. The ISO 31000-2009 addresses the entire management system that supports the design, implementation, maintenance and improvement of risk management processes. It is relevant to all organisations and projects. This standard adopted much of Australia's pre-existing Australian standard, the AS NZS 4360. Australia is one of the leading countries when it comes to risk management. As indicated in the introduction video clip, you can access the Australian standard, the ISO 31000, through the University of South Australia. Be warned that you only have access for a limited 24 hours, so you will need to print a hard copy in that time, or you cannot access the standard, and usually you cannot save it or reopen it at a later time, as it's a protected document. The Australian standard ISO 31000 considers risk in broad terms. It considers it as a process. It provides principles and a framework for effective risk management across a whole organisation. This standard covers strategic and operational risks that attach to a project. The PMBOK guide is more focused on a project. It is a structured process that allows individual risk events and overall project risks to be understood and managed proactively, optimising project success by minimising threats and maximising opportunities. The guide is very focused on the project and its life cycle and considers the operational risk within a project. Risk is one of the PMBOK knowledge areas. Risk is a fundamental part of project management processes which cover risk management planning, risk identification, qualitative risk analysis, quantitative risk analysis, risk response planning, monitoring and control. Each week you will be expected to look at the readings listed. You will see that these readings are usually listed and accessible through the e-reader on the left-hand side of the online page, but there is also a fuller list in the top under the initial segment of the online course. Read the lecture notes provided and review the PowerPoint slides. The activity for this week is to go to the forum and introduce yourself. Think about forming a group and what project you would do for assignment 2. Thank you.